Yes, I'm still alive, and we're back on the 500 Pontiac. I apologize for the few month furlough I had there. Just got busy and was doing other stuff. See these orange jobbers here? These are some mechanical injectors. We're gonna try that in the Pontiac intake. Or better yet, I'll put them in this tractor here. I got sidetracked and did a once over refurbish to this tractor. Fixed a bunch of problems with it. But I'm pretty much done with that now. Got a couple odds and ends yet. I didn't film it because I didn't really want to be working on it, but I did. So that was that. It's been so long since I worked on this. The head gasket surface actually had some fuzzy surface rust on it. So I put a bunch of rags in it, took some fine steel wool, and just knocked all the high spots down. And you can't really tell. Cylinders are good. Put a little water, displacement 40 on it. I think my goal for today is to get a push rod length on this. Once I get that, I can start slamming this together, especially if I know if there's a good piston to valve clearance. I'm gonna run some Cometics in it. And apparently Butler worked with Cometic on a gasket that just they sell. Something maybe about water hole placement. I don't know, at least that's what they told me. But the reason I have it out is I was looking for crush thickness. It looks like it's 40 thousandths. So I'm gonna put 40 thousandths shim on this gasket surface on each end. And just snug the head down. See if we can get a push rod length off of that and see what the piston valve clearance is. So here's the head I got from Butler. This is their 340 head. I can tell that this chamber's been hand bonded. Doesn't have the exhaust crossover. It's a tall port head, tall intake port. Probably most notably, I have a conical spring on it. I wasn't going with a beehive, but they're in back order, waiting, and then finally I'm like, hey, let's just put a conical spring on it. Apparently the pressures in the spring, open and close, are similar to that of like an LS engine. So it'll be interesting to see how this all works out. So trying to keep the valve train light on this. I could have got a D port head. I said, give me a round port, and this is what they sent me. So supposedly this is supposed to be a little bit better at the top end, and really that's the only difference. This looks like it was CNC cut. This is pretty nice. But I'm gonna take a couple of valves out of this so we can put our checking springs in. We'll take a look at the chamber. Keeper is so small that this tool is slipping off it. I think I'm gonna see if I can bend this in a little bit. Sorry, Mr. Valve Spring Compressor. This is in the name of getting it done. Man, it's barely on there. Let's try something different. I'm gonna try this job on here. I'm noticing that these threads are all helicoiled, which is nice. Got these as bare heads and had Butler assemble them. This is like their tier 2 Ferrara stainless valve. Got these thread checking jobs. These things are really nice. You can replace the hardware. They're worth every penny. So this is 7/16 20, and this is 7/16 14. I, of course, do not have a stud like that. I do have these studs when I was messing around with the Corvette. I'll see if I can find a fine thread 7/16 20. I'm gonna cut this off, and then I'm just gonna weld that to this. Yeah, there's a smaller version of this too. I think I'm gonna screw these up on this pegboard, and I'm actually gonna rearrange this whole pegboard here. The only bolt I have with that thread, of course, the threads are nerfed, so here I'm chasing threads from the welder way up to try to get this done. I did tape up the head surface to try to protect it here. This ended up a little cattywampus, but I think it'll get the job done. One thing I've learned is you don't want to just let the valve hit the workbench, because you can bend it that way. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Let's see if we get this valve out so we can take a look at that chamber. I don't want to damage the valve seal though. So it fights me, I'm just going to leave it in there. That wasn't too bad. Oh, they got a back cut on it. I wonder if they could have got tighter locators. It's like there's 50 thousandths play on these. I don't know what gives you the best view, but these really could use a hand blending. If I had known they're going to be this coarse, I would have had them just go ahead and do it. I'm not going to do it at this point in time though. I think I'm going to run them, and on the freshen up, I'll do it then, just in case I was a nick a seed or something like that. It's really not that bad. It's really the rough shape that gives you the power anyway, not the fine polish. It appears this tiny retainer will fit in my checking spring. Probably makes zero difference, but I'm going to label intake and exhaust spring. If you're wondering, these springs are from 10K Technologies, and they have some interesting videos about spring stability. That was really kind of a focal point on this engine. More to come on that. I'm tempted to put some Diachem on these seats and just see what kind of job Butler did. I think I will. I'll lap them in a little bit. Up in my Pontiac headstands. Pontiac is nice because they have like an axis where the hole is in the same location on either side of the head. So you can spin it around on those. I don't know if you can see it, but I am seeing a ring all the way around on both the intake and the exhaust. So I think we're going to be good. Asked Butler how new their equipment was, and they said their stuff was from the 70s. I mean, you can still get a good job with that stuff, especially if you know the machine. This block get done on a Rottler block machine. It was a modern Sunan honing machine that honed it. But if I was to get a valve job and what I wanted to be a performance engine, I think I would send it to a shop that had one of them Neuen valve seat machines. Those things look pretty sweet. Springs installed. Hopefully these have enough strength to give me a print for a push rod length. I got the bridge fixture on it. I'm just getting a crude top dead center. And I am going to toss the degree wheel on it. I want to check this piston to valve clearance, that way I know I can put the timing chain cover on and put the heads on permanently. I'm looking at this, and some of these valve train mounting holes are through to the intake runner, so I'll have to use sealant when I assemble this, but this one, I don't know if you can see that, there's like a burr on there, like a little loose piece of metal. Try and get that out of there. It could get sucked right into the cylinder. It's like, what happened there? Couldn't they have blended that better? Reading through these T&D instructions, it says, please do not try to machine or shorten the stand in any way. This, of course, being the stand. Alright, I got the stand mocked up with 4 bolts. Man, that is tight. I think I'm gonna stand this head on edge, run a stud through there and see if this is even gonna work. They gave me some extra snap rings. They said to buy this tool here, high quality snap ring pliers. Trying to get that thing off is breaking the tips on mine. I had to actually destroy it to get it off, but I got it off. I think I'm just going to measure the one shaft because all these valve stem heights should be the same. Here's my machine straight edge. Yeah, they did a pretty good job. Looks like the installed height is really close. They have a needle bearing inside there. Instructions said not to wash these out either because these tips are lubricated with like moly grease. I gotta shim it up so much that it might clear them head bolts. I think this is what they intended for shims. You can count how many are in here. Appears I have 2 size shim here. I got a thick shim and then a skinny shim. So I'm gonna guess it's 1 thick and 1 skinny. I do have 16 of these. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 16 of those. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm too short on the skinny ones. But let me mock it up with a thick and a thin. You got 80 thousandths, 40 thousandths. I think this is going to work out. It is right on the money now. It looks like that nut and washer might clear too. I'm gonna stick them in there. We'll see. They are clearing by like 5,000ths, if that. I'm going to run that stud all the way in. Doing the inventory of the stud kit, I have 4 shorter ones. They're about 1/4 inch shorter. So these are going to go on the ends and the top of the head. So I got 40 shim on each side. Head gasket crushes to 40, so I think this is good enough for checking purposes. Putting 2 sets of shim on each side because the head was rocking. And then I got the head snugged up with some bolts. Not gonna have to grind these studs, I don't think. I just barely got these on there, so you can turn that with my finger in the center. That's about how they're gonna land. So we'll put that rocker shaft assembly on and see how it looks. Here's a rocker stand on the head on the motor. And I can get a 5,000th feeler gauge in there. I can't over here. And then all 3 of these center ones are basically touching the nut. So I got some pictures. I'll put a call in, and then we'll see how this saga plays out. Appreciate everyone that watches these videos, and we'll see you in the next one.